Hello everyone, welcome back to another Project Gladiator weather forecast. Today I'll be covering the weather for August 12th of 2023, and currently we have an enhanced risk for southern New York into western Ohio, as well as a slight risk for central to eastern Tennessee into northern Alabama and northern Georgia, as well as a slight risk for southern Kansas and in northern Oklahoma into the northern Texas Panhandle. We usually see a lot of high severe potential for this particular location for days on end, so I likely will not be covering the slight risk region too much, if not at all, in today's forecast. We also do have a marginal threat for South Dakota into northern Nebraska that I likely will not cover also in today's forecast. As for threats, we do have a 5% tornado threat for the enhanced risk region. And as for wind, we do have a 30% for the enhanced risk region, with 15% for both slight risk regions and a 5% for that marginal threat region. As for hail, we do have a 15% with the possibility of large hail for that enhanced risk region, with a 5% for the slight risk region for Tennessee, Alabama, and Georgia, as well as a 5% for the slight risk region across the High Plains, as well as a 5% for the marginal threat for South Dakota and northern Nebraska. Taking a look at a radar omega model, starting off with our 500 millibars like we usually do, you can see, focusing on the enhanced risk region, there is a very broad jet stream that is expected to move through the region, as well as a huge exit region for this jet stream as well. If I draw the wind vectors, it would be fairly zonal. However, our wind vectors would look something like this, with this entire expanse right here being that mid-level flow jet stream. And you can see that we do have a low pressure system that is expected to be just south of the Hudson Bay. This low pressure system is expected to push on the jet stream a little bit and give it a little bit of a prominent change in direction to support the possibility of some directional shear and the possibility of a couple tornadoes for this particular location. And you can see that we already do have a tornado watch and a couple tornado warnings for Ohio. Mid-level flow is also expected to be fairly strong in the 50 and 40 knots. That will definitely elongate photographs and allow for the possibility of some large hail. And then taking a look at the slight risk region for the High Plains, you can see that we do have a high pressure system that is expected to be situated over Texas and Louisiana, and you can see that we do have this area of weak mid-level flow that is rounding the northwestern side of that high pressure system to trigger that slight risk region for that particular location. Taking a look at our dew points, focusing on the enhanced risk region, you can see that we are expected to have some fairly strong dew points. They are going to be weaker than further down south across the rest of the Ohio Valley. However, dew points should be mostly in the low 70s to the mid and upper 60s, and possibly even into the mid 70s across Ohio. And I will be getting into these tornado warnings and these tornado watches. This is an observed tornado warning, so if you do live in that particular warning, please get into shelter immediately. However, by the time this video comes out, it may not be there anymore. And we also do have a tornado warning for central Tennessee. And again, I will be getting into these tornado warnings with our energy helicity index models, as well as this tornado watch. So with the dew points that we have for the enhanced risk region, we could see the possibility of some fairly strong instability, more so back towards the 2000 range for the rest of the enhanced risk region, maybe getting into the 3000s range across Ohio. And then for the slight risk region across Tennessee, Alabama, and Georgia, you can see that we are expected to have dew points that are very, very strong. Dew points that are expected to be in the upper 70s, so we could see the possibility of some very, very strong instability, possibly into the extreme levels, getting into the upper 3000s and possibly even the mid 4000s. Taking a look at our instability, starting off with the enhanced risk region, you can see that we are expected to have some fairly strong instability for this particular location across the rest of the New England corridor, excluding Ohio. You can see that we are expected to have Cape values that are more so back in the 2000s range, and then across Ohio we do have some fairly strong Cape values, more so back into the 3000s and possibly the upper 3000s and even the low 4000s. So we could definitely see the possibility of not only large hail, but also the possibility of some strong damaging wind gusts, and with whatever directional shear we have, we could see the possibility of a few tornadoes for this particular location. And then for the slight risk region for Tennessee, Alabama, and Georgia, you can see that we are expected to have some fairly strong instability, more so back into the extreme values of instability. Cape values are going to be in the upper 3000s and even the widespread upper 4000s. That is extreme amounts of instability and will definitely support the possibility of some small to medium hail. However, overall mid-level flow is much weaker in this particular location, so we may not be able to see the possibility of large hail. However, we could definitely see the possibility of some small to medium hail and the possibility of some fairly strong damaging wind gusts for this particular location as well. Taking a look at our energy helicity index, starting off with our 5% tornado threat and our tornado watch for the New England corridor and our observed tornado warning. We do have some fairly strong energy helicity index values, and you can see that we are expected to have an area of stronger energy helicity index values across Ohio where that observed tornado warning is. So we could definitely see the possibility of a few tornadoes for this 5% tornado threat across this entire area. And then for the tornado warning for Tennessee, where we don't have a tornado threat, we could definitely see the possibility of maybe an additional 2% tornado threat, as we do have some widespread energy helicity index readings into the 2s and the 1s. So we could definitely maybe see a additional 2% tornado threat for this particular location with this tornado warning for central Tennessee. Now that I've told you the weather, please go down to the description and check out the socials for Project Gladiator, and join the Discord for any updates on Project Gladiator. And if you live in any of the areas I covered for today, like the slight risk region for Tennessee, Alabama, and Georgia, and especially the tornado watched area with the possibility of that observed tornado warning there, please stay weather alert for the time being, and hopefully I will be able to see you guys tomorrow with another forecast.